Hello and welcome to the special programs night video for AP Calculus AB and BC for Cambridge High School. This is David Pomerantz. I am one of the AP Calculus teachers here. This year I am teaching AP Calculus BC, and I'm going to talk with you about the calculus program. So without further ado, let's take a look at what we've got in store for you here. First of all, any sort of AP questions that you might have about curriculum changes, exam dates, exam policies for any of the AP exams, go to collegeboard.org. They've got AP Central there, and that is going to have the most up-to-date and accurate information about all things AP. So there's that resource for you. Some people might ask the question, who should take AP Calculus? And the answer is any motivated and academically prepared student can take any AP course. Calculus is generally considered the capstone math course in a high school curriculum. So Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, Pre-Calculus. Once all of those are taken care of, then calculus would be the next step in that path. Some people opt not to take calculus at all because they don't anticipate needing it in college, and they opt for AP Statistics instead, which is a fantastic option, especially at Cambridge High School. So I would strongly recommend people consider that as an option in addition to or instead of AP Calculus. So I always say that statistics is more universally useful than calculus. Everyone needs to understand statistics. Not everyone needs to understand calculus. That being said, I love calculus, and I think that anyone who's interested in calculus should definitely take it at Cambridge. And then if you're concerned about whether you might be successful in AP Calculus, you might want to ask yourself, how did I do in Pre-Cal? Specifically, the first half of Pre-Cal at Cambridge, we do trigonometry. And if trigonometry was a piece of cake for you, then you should be okay in calculus. There's not a whole ton of trigonometry in calculus, but it tends to be a good indicator of how well you might do in calculus. So anyway, that's just a general metric to look at. It's not a hard and fast rule by any means. A lot of people are curious to know if you can get college credit for taking the AP exam. So first of all, if you didn't already know, all AP courses offer an AP exam in May. The exam is scored between 1 and 5, 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. So it's one of those high stakes tests that you've got to prepare for. And regarding college credit, that's an impossible question to answer blanketly because it depends on the school that you're looking at. So my best recommendation there is to contact admissions offices at different schools that you're considering attending and finding out what sort of credit is available depending on your scores. Of course, this is probably information you can find online as well, depending on the institution. The difference between the two different calculus AP courses, we've got AB and BC. BC is the one that I teach. That's the one that contains more material. So it's not that we go deeper into the material. It's not that we ask harder questions in BC. It's just that we have more material to cover. So the pacing is a lot more intense. In AB, you'll find that you'll have some days of review where you're just like, you know what, we're not going to cover anything new today. We're just going to make sure that you guys get yesterday's concepts. Those days are few and far between in BC simply because we've got so much more material to cover. And we'll talk a little bit more about those differences on another slide, but it does mention here about parametric polar vector functions and sequences and series are the big additions to your BC class from AB. As far as pacing is concerned, at Cambridge, we always, in both the AB and BC courses, we always try to finish new material by spring break. So that gives us a good month and a half after spring break before the AP exam to focus on review because, of course, the AP exam is cumulative. Everything that we've covered throughout the entire year is fair game on the AP exam. So we want to make sure that all the old material is as fresh in your head as the new material. Here we go. Here's a screenshot from the College Board's calculus course and exam description. It's a 256-page document, so if you really want to know some information about the course, then you can read through there. But you can see the difference between AB and BC. At first glance, you might say BC only has 2 extra units. And that's definitely the biggest difference between AB and BC. But we also are looking at, in BC, there are methods of integration that are not covered in AB. I'm thinking integration by parts, partial fraction decomposition, power reducing formulas for trigonometric functions. So these are some topics that are going to show up here that don't show up in the AB class. And then there are also a few other random concepts that are going to show up in BC that don't show up in AB. So again, it's not that it's easier to take AB because the questions are easier. It's that there aren't as many topics that are covered. All right, so if you're on the fence between AB and BC, generally our basic rule of thumb here is we look at your grade in pre-cal, and if it's 90 or above for test averages, then we say you are BC material and you should consider taking it. If your test average is lower than 90, then we would suggest you take AB. There's also an on-level calculus option, and that is going to cover pretty much the same curriculum as the AB, but it's not going to go into as much depth. So that would be a good option for people who might not be quite ready for the college level course, but are interested in perhaps prepping themselves for the college level course. So they might take on-level calculus in high school, and then that would make their life a lot easier when they went on to calculus in college. Regardless of whether you're taking AP Calculus AB or AP Calculus BC, they are college level courses and they're taught as such. These are often the course where people who have found math extremely easy and never having to try are suddenly finding, wait a second, I've got to work on this, I've got to study. And it might be a struggle, and that's good. The struggle is good. I like this last sentence here. The perseverance required to succeed in calculus will ultimately build students' self-confidence and prepare them for the rigor and pacing of college courses. So it's okay to have hard things, and it's what you do when you're faced with those hard things that kind of defines who you are. All right, and then I always like to close with a little summary of comparison here between Cambridge High School, indicated in blue, Georgia, indicated in red, and the world, indicated in gray. So you can kind of see how our scores compare to some other averages. So I feel like these numbers are something to be proud of in Cambridge High School, and we feel like we do a good job of it. So if you're considering taking an AP Calculus course, then we look forward to having you in our classes next year. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to either myself. I'll go ahead and type my email address here. It's pomerantzd@fultonschools.org. You can also contact Miss Emily O'Dowd at fultonschools.org. She is the current AB calculus teacher. So if you have any particular questions about the course that we didn't cover in this video, then feel free to contact one of us. Thanks and have a good day.